Thank you. Thank you. So how are we doing? Have we had a good day so far? Yes. Have we learned at least one thing that made it worth coming today? Raise your hand if that's true.
Oh, yes.
Julie, the good news is the pressure's off me and you. They've already had their money's worth. So on the 17th of May in the year 2000, I flew into Heathrow with my wife and our 5-year-old son. We arrived here on a one-way ticket from Australia. We'd spent 2 weeks in North America enjoying the beautiful spring weather. And when we touched down in England, I distinctly remember the weather. Any guesses?
Rain.
Did I hear anyone say rain? Surely not. Yes, it was raining. Now, what's interesting about that is I actually didn't mind too much. Do you know why? Because we were on an adventure. Raise your hand if you've ever enjoyed a little bit of adventure in your life. Right? It's great, isn't it? And for us, it was a particularly big adventure because when we arrived here, we had nowhere to live. We had no work lined up. We had a 5-year-old ready to start school. But I distinctly remember and have fond memories of those early weeks here because the dominant emotion was excitement, a sense of anticipation of what this new life in this different country would be. The possibilities were amazing. But if I told you that our savings that we could access would only last us 2 to 3 months, you might guess that there was another emotion lurking in the background. Any clues? Fear, absolutely. What if it all goes wrong? Now, thankfully, it was only lurking in the background, but it was definitely there. Now, the interesting thing about these two emotions is that they're really close cousins. Did you know that? Physiologically, they are the same. The adrenaline, the heart rate, it's exactly the same. And the only difference is what? How we think about what's going on inside us and around us. Take a look at this guy. He jumps off bridges, towers and buildings for fun. Raise your hand if you enjoy a bit of base jumping on a weekend. No, me neither. But he does, he enjoys it. And he's wearing a top that says fear is not an option. Because in his world, the adrenaline coursing through his system at this very moment is what? Excitement. This is brilliant. He's living on the edge, literally. He feels really alive. And if his parachute opens, he'll get to do that again. Now that could be a brilliant metaphor for how we could embrace change in uncertain times. We throw ourselves joyfully into the adventure of the unknown. But it's not always like that, is it? Sometimes it's not like that. Take a look at this little boy on his first day of school. Now, look at the body language. Is he excited to be entering this new world? What's the body language tell you?
Get me out of here.
Get me out of here. Now, if you haven't guessed it already, this is me over half a century ago. I grew up in rural Australia. We had a little school that serviced the local farming community. 1 room, 1 teacher, about 12 kids. I was the only kid in my year, so I was always top. And, you know, when the day my dad took that photo, I don't think he realised how artistically, perfectly framed that picture was. Notice my trousers are brown. My shadow is about to be swallowed up by this big dark shadow. My shoulders are tense, I'm taking tentative steps, and I'm holding my little satchel as a shield because I don't know whether I can cope with this unknown world ahead. I cannot tell you how many times in my adult life I've felt exactly like that little boy. And I wouldn't mind betting it's true for all of you. There's been times when you've thrown yourself into change and absolutely been up for it. Bring it on. I love the adventure. And there'll be times when you've thought, I don't want to go here. Yeah, am I right? Yeah, because we're all human. Now, I think it's... we have an additional challenge today in this modern world. And I think it's really well summed up by this quote. Things are getting better and better, and worse, faster and faster. Better and better, worse and worse, faster and faster. Raise your hand if that feels true for you. Better and better, worse and worse, faster and faster. Now, I think it's because of technology. Because if you think about it, that's what technology does. You see, technology isn't good or bad. It's just a tool. But what technology does is it amplifies everything we do. It makes it bigger and it makes it faster. So on the positive side, we've got the capacity to connect and communicate and collaborate and create like never before. And we can do more with less. We've got the capacity to produce so much more stuff. But the dark side is that we mess up our nest. And in the extreme, we have the capacity to completely destroy ourselves. We've had it for over half a century. We've come close a couple of times, and the potential still exists today. So the point is this: technology is not going to fix anything. It's a shift in the way we think.